Good afternoon, everybody. What is going on? I am jeffgrantMEDIA, and today's real user review, we're going to be taking a look at the Oliver Charles all-season hoodie. Now, you thought I forgot about this one, didn't you? I've had it for quite some time. I did have it throughout the summer where I didn't necessarily have to wear a hoodie because it was quite warm, but there was one particular test that I was waiting to do and I just kind of kept putting off because I didn't have the opportunity to do so. But I finally got a chance to do it. We'll get into all of that. But Oliver Charles did send me the all-season hoodie as a sample for review, but all the opinions in this video are mine and mine alone. I did not share this content with Oliver Charles prior to publication. They will see this when you do. Okay, so again, I've had this now, I checked since like May, end of May maybe. It's now end of July, so I've had this for quite some time. But the test I was trying to do was Slater, one of the owners and founders of Oliver Charles, who had reached out to me originally, had told me that it is very good at shedding the campfire smell. Now, while I do have a fire pit in my backyard, we haven't really used it this summer. We haven't been in a s'mores mood, so I just didn't get to do the fire test, which is one of the tests I definitely wanted to do. But last week we went camping, so I did finally get to do the campfire smoke test. We will show you the clip of me standing in the fire talking about it. But before we get into all of that, as always, let's start with a few of the specs of the garment. The Oliver Charles all-season hoodie comes in at $265 USD. Now, the company Oliver Charles is based out of San Francisco, California, but all of the Oliver Charles clothing is knitted on demand in Brooklyn, New York. And that's right, you heard me say knitted on demand because all of these garments are 3D knitted. It is made from 75% merino wool and 25% cool wool, which is a high elevation Tibetan yak wool. I am 5'9", roughly 175 to 180 pounds, and I am wearing a size large. Yes, Tibetan yak's wool. So this is my first garment that is 3D knitted and my first garment that is made out of yak's wool. So 3D knitted, it's pretty interesting. It is the first time I ever heard of this when Slater had reached out to me. So essentially, when you think of 3D printed, that's what this has done. This is 3D knitted on a machine. So these are all made, knitted on demand. Now, I did talk to Slater about this. They said during the holiday season, when they get a little bit busier, they will keep a few of the high-selling items in back stock. But other than that, these are made to order. So you order it, and they will knit it on the machine. It comes out and it gets packaged and comes to your door. Now, these are knitted in Brooklyn, New York. I do live in Scranton, Pennsylvania. My shipping took 1 day, so there is like no delay. You make your order, they knit it. I'm sure during the busy season, yes, maybe there are other orders ahead of yours, but you know, I got mine in the early spring. It was knitted and sent to me, and I got it in 1 day. So the shipment from order to delivery was super lightning fast. And it's literally just, it looks like a printer, but out comes a garment. And it's pretty cool. There are no seams on this sweater. Now, I did say in my unboxing video, and looking at the sweater, you can see where the fronts and backs and where the hood is attached. So I was calling it a seam, but it's not a traditional seam. It's more like a line that you can see where both sides were knitted together. So you don't have any of that extra material from the seam that's going to irritate your skin. In addition, they say that this yak's wool is soft like cashmere, and while I've never owned a cashmere sweater, as I believe I also said in my unboxing, I have felt plenty of cashmere sweaters, and it is very, very soft. Now, I wouldn't say it's nearly as silky smooth as a cashmere, but it is very, very soft. Now, in my mind, when I was thinking yak's wool, I was thinking this was going to be picky and a bit itchy. But that wasn't the case at all. This is really, really soft. It's really nice to the touch. I've worn this in a wide variety of temperature ranges at this point, and even when I got a little warm, usually when even a sweater that's comfortable until you get warm, then they start getting picky. This wasn't picky at all. So while it's not necessarily as smooth as cashmere, it is very soft. It's very comfortable. Now, it is 75% merino wool, which I am very familiar with. I have plenty of merino wool. I know merino wool to be very comfortable, very soft to the touch, and it's very, very nice. So it is a blend of merino and cool yak's wool, but it is very soft. It's very nice. It's very soft to touch. I am only wearing a t-shirt underneath this right now, so I have nothing under my arms, and you know, I'm touching. It's a little warmer today. It's probably still 80 plus degrees outside right now, and I'm completely comfortable wearing this. I'm not itchy, it's not picking me in any way, nor has it done any of that while I was wearing and testing this hoodie. So how did I wear this hoodie? Well, When I first got it, it was still kind of cool out. We were having warmer afternoons, but our mornings were pretty cool. So I was wearing this casually to work or out and about, running errands on the weekend. If it was a little chilly, I'd throw this on to go grocery shopping, and it was completely fine for that. It was great. I think it was like, you know, in the like mid 50s or so, and then it was getting up to about 75 in the afternoon. And like when I was wearing it to work, and I would shed it before I would go home because it was a little warmer out in the afternoon, and my blood is still, it was still at that point pretty thick. So 75 to me was warm, very warm, so I wasn't wearing anything coming home from work. So I would shed it in the afternoons, but wear it in the mornings to work was fine. I wore this in the office building because it is my point of view that I believe corporate America is trying to freeze everyone awake, because no matter what office building I have been in, no matter what time of the year, they are always freezing cold. So I wear a long sleeves, either sweaters, vests, jackets at work almost year round. So while I was testing the Oliver Charles all season hoodie, I was wearing that into the office. Now for my campfire test, we went camping. This, in addition to my rain jacket, I did bring my denim jacket, but this was the only like hoodie I brought. I didn't bring another sweatshirt. I did intend on bringing a sun hoodie, completely forgot it, but I essentially wore this, like I wore this to sleep a couple times, and then one morning it rained like the whole trip, so it was really cool most of the day. The sun did come out in the afternoon for a few hours, and it did get quite humid, in which case I was just wearing a t-shirt and shorts. But in the mornings, when I was going to the bathrooms to brush my teeth, to get ready for the day, to take a shower, I was throwing this on. At night when it was cooling off, I was throwing this on, and I was wearing this. I slept in it the one night. It was pretty cool because it rained all night long, so it was probably only, I'd say, like 55 degrees out in where we were camping, and I slept in this completely comfortable. But you really want to know how it did in the campfire test. My eyes are burning. That is some pretty strong smoke from the campfire. It's gonna be a really good test to see if this sweater sheds the campfire smell if I just air it out for a day. Let's put a little bit more smoke in it. They were right. Yakul does dissipate the smell of campfire within a couple of hours, or, well, overnight. I did hang this on. You can kind of see it. This little fence post kind of thing overnight, but it was supposed to rain, so I did have my canopy set up over here. Taking it down, we're packing up, but I put it on the picnic table under the canopy for the night, and completely gone. Does not smell like campfire wear. Even this t-shirt that I did not have on last night, this smells like campfire. This was in my tent. I put this on this morning, so this is between last night and my body for the past 3 or 4 hours, and this still smells like campfire, where this, I intentionally stood directly in the smoke, and it does not smell at all. So yak wool, good for camping because it dissipates that campfire smell pretty quickly. Now the sweater is machine washable, and I have washed it one time back in the spring after I kind of got done wearing it when it got real hot and I wasn't able to really wear it. So I did wash it, and it looks fine to me. It probably still looks brand new. There's no pulls, there's no snags. It didn't shrink at all. It still looks great. So machine washable, it works, but I have not washed it since I got back from camping. And I will say I was a bit nose blind to the smell of campfire when I did that clip, because now if I give it a good deep whiff, I can smell a little bit of campfire smell. And honestly, wearing it right now, I can't smell it at all. It was when I put the hoodie on to come down here and film. When I was pulling it over my head, I got a little bit of the whiff of the campfire. So while it is pretty good at dispersing the smell of campfire, I can say for a fact, yeah, it still has a little bit of campfire smell stuck in the fabric. But I'm sure once I throw this in the washer again, that's going to completely go away because, you know, all of my other clothes, the scent of Campfire went away after I washed them, so I can't see why this wouldn't. But it does do a very good job. I will say I probably did sweat in this a little bit, and there's no stink. There's no like BO smell at all to it. So it does do a very good job at shedding the smells. Although Campfires, they're damn near impossible to completely air out. You need to wash or air your tent out, set it up, and let that stay outside for like a week away from a fire for your tent to not smell like campfire. So Campfire, it's a pretty tough scent to deal with. Now, fit, feel, and finish. Now, this is a pretty form-fitting sweater. And this is something I did notice from the website, so I did upsize to a size large, but even trying it on for the very first time, I would say the size large was a bit form-fitting. Now, it's not a problem. It did stretch out just enough, so I feel like it is more comfortable for me to wear now while not looking like it is stretched out or sloppy. So if you do want a looser fit of your sweater or hoodie, I would say upsize at least one size, possibly two if you're on the border. But the feel and finish of this is very nice. As I said earlier, it's not necessarily as smooth and soft as cashmere, but it is pretty soft and very comfortable to wear, and just touching and feeling the sweater, it feels very, very nice. The fact that it is 3D knitted and it doesn't have any of those traditional seams is also a really nice feature. So if I were to throw this on without a t-shirt underneath, I'm not going to have any of those seams rubbing on my ribs, nor do I have any inside my sleeves when I'm wearing short sleeves. So overall, the fit, feel, and finish, while it is a bit form-fitting, it is still very comfortable. It's very nice and soft to the touch, and overall the quality is really good. But do I think the Oliver Charles all-season hoodie is worth your $265? I'd say it's pretty close. It's pretty close. I'd say maybe like $225, $250. So if you're looking at like a plain merino wool t-shirt, you're looking at like 75, like 90 bucks. Just for a t-shirt, a thin, lighter weight merino wool t-shirt. Once you get like hoodies and sweaters, you're like, you know, $150, $200 range. So it's in that price range. I'd say it might be a little bit higher, but you're getting a garment that is 3D printed. So there is little to no waste that goes into this garment. There are a few thread ends that are snipped from when it's coming off the printer, but generally there is almost next to no waste for these. And these are all printed on demand. You order it, it's not made, it's not sitting back stock. So there's not paying for overstock. They're essentially paying for the spools of thread to sit on a shelf until they're loaded into the machine to be printed into the hoodie. I'm sure there was R&D that went into making the patterns and all of that, but that goes into every garment. There's R&D that goes into making the patterns. But the thing with fast fashion, and really any fashion that's sewn together, there is a template that is then cut into fabric, and there is waste from the fabric scraps that are not used. Now, a lot of companies do a very good job at laying out their templates to do very, very little waste, but there is still a bit of waste. But with Oliver Charles, you're getting little to no waste. So let's break it down. We have merino wool, which is quite pricey, Tibetan yak's wool, which I'm gonna go ahead and say is probably on par with the cost of merino wool. Then we have American made, San Francisco-based company, printed in Brooklyn, New York, and then it is 3D printed on demand to you when you order it. So there's not a garment that's just sitting on a shelf for who knows how long before you place the order, and someone pulls it out of a box on a shelf and puts it in a package and ships it to you. You know that it is made to order, so it is made right when you order it. They're queuing it up, they're gonna print it out. So I'd say $265 it's close. I would drop that, you know, just that $15, and I'd be totally happy with like that $250 mark. I'd say that would be perfect, that $250 mark. But overall, it's a really cool garment. I'm very satisfied with it. I've been wearing this I wore this a lot camping. Like, this was basically my main long sleeve garment that I wore when I wasn't wearing a rain jacket, because I spent a lot of time in the tent, so I was just wearing this to be comfortable inside the tent. Because it did rain every single day we were camping, so I did end up spending a lot of time inside the tent. But all in all, I'm pretty satisfied with the garment. It was pretty interesting, pretty cool to take a look at something totally new that I have never seen before and didn't even know existed. I did not know 3D printed garments was a thing at all. So it was really cool. It's got a lot going on for it. And yeah, I think if you were looking at one, you know, $15 isn't gonna break the bank. If you're looking at quality, durable goods it falls into that category. This is quality durable goods. I believe it also has a lifetime guarantee on it. So, I mean, that's also baked into that price. So I'd say, yeah, maybe $265 after all. It's a pretty good, solid price point for it. You know, I would like to see it $15 cheaper, but that $15, it's not going to break the bank. When you're talking about durable goods, it's up there with quality, durability. I like the style of it. It feels good, it fits good, and it's doing a pretty good job at both keeping me warm, making me look good, and keeping me not stinky. So if you like this video or any of my other videos, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Smash that big red button and ring that bell right next to it so you get notifications next time I post a brand new video. Good night.